what do we see here? We see stickers that glow in the dark. Now, what is so special about these stickers that they do not need any electricity or any battery to glow in the dark? Well, these are radium stickers. So again, what is so special about radium? There are so many elements around us, but why does radium allow the stickers to glow while any other element which we encounter in daily life does not glow like this? Because radium nucleus is a bit different from the usual atoms that we see. Now, how is it different? For that, let's first understand how a normal atom looks like. Now, this is a usual structure of an atom. Now, we have a nucleus in the middle, and then we have electrons orbiting the nucleus. Now, this nucleus contains protons and neutrons. So, this nucleus only has protons and neutrons, and the electrons are orbiting the nucleus. Now, this nucleus usually is very stable. So, you will usually not see any reactions or radiations from the nucleus. But in certain cases, the nucleus becomes unstable and then it starts emitting radiation. So let's understand with an example. Now what do we see here? Two images. One has corn seeds. Now in this case, the corn seeds are dormant. Do you see any reactions in the corn seed? No. But the same corn seed on heating, that is on change of condition, reacts differently. So the same corn seed reacts differently under a different condition. Now, similar thing happens with a nucleus. A nucleus is usually stable, but in certain conditions, the nucleus becomes unstable and then it starts emitting radiation. So let's understand how the entire thing becomes unstable. That is, the entire nucleus becomes unstable. So first of all, let's see this particular nucleus, which is nucleus of a helium atom. Now in this nucleus we have two neutrons and two protons. Now protons are positively charged, so they should repel each other. But how are they together? Because there are certain nuclear binding forces that act on these nucleons and they stay together. So while these protons are repelling each other, the nuclear binding forces are holding them together. Now, there are certain conditions in which this stability is disturbed. That is, there is an imbalance of forces and then the nucleus becomes unstable. So let's understand what are the different conditions for that. A major condition is that if protons, that is number of protons, is larger than 83, in that case the nucleus will be unstable. So why 83? Because it has been calculated that once number of protons is more than 83, then the repulsive forces between protons becomes larger than nuclear binding forces and thus the nucleus becomes unstable. So this is one very important criteria. Whenever number of protons, or we can say that atomic number, is more than 83, then that nucleus will be unstable. But does that mean all the nuclei which have atomic number lower than 83 are stable? Well, usually they are, but even there are certain conditions or certain exceptions. So even when number of protons is lesser than or equal to 83, even then there can be instability in the nucleus. Now first criteria is that if number of protons is larger than number of neutrons, in this case the nucleus will be unstable. So if number of protons is larger than number of neutrons, the nucleus will always be unstable. Also, if number of protons is much less than number of neutrons, even then the nucleus will be unstable. So what is the difference? Well, in the first case, number of protons is larger than number of neutrons. So we have large number of protons, as a result huge repulsive forces, as a result instability of the nucleus. Now in the second case, number of protons is very less compared to number of neutrons. Now what happens in this case? Well, in this case again we know that nuclear binding forces are already there. Now the repulsive forces between proton and the nuclear binding forces, they balance each other. Only then the nucleus remains in a stable state. Now in this case the repulsive forces are almost non-existent. So only nuclear binding forces are acting. So again there is an imbalance of forces inside the nucleus, and as a result even here you will see instability in the nucleus. So when will it be stable? Well, the only condition when a nucleus will be stable is when number of protons is somewhat lesser or equal to number of neutrons. So this is the only condition when nucleus will be stable. So what do we understand from this? When number of protons is larger than 83, then the nucleus will be unstable. If number of protons is larger than number of neutrons, nucleus will be unstable. If number of protons is very less compared to number of neutrons, then again the nucleus will be unstable. And if number of protons is somewhat less than or equal to neutrons, then we will see a stable nucleus. So now can you answer this question? Nuclei having number of protons greater than dash are unstable. Is it 80? Is it 84? Is it 83? What do you think is the right answer? Well, the right answer is 83. So nuclei having number of protons greater than 83 are unstable. And such unstable nuclei emit radiation, and that is why they are called radioactive substances. So what do we mean by radioactive substances? Radioactive substances have unstable nuclei which disintegrate or decay and emit spontaneous radiation. So radiation is emitted by radioactive substances spontaneously. Now what are some common radioactive nuclei? Uranium-235 with an atomic number of 92 is a radioactive element. Similarly, radium-228 with an atomic number of 88 is again a radioactive element. Also, carbon-14 with an atomic number of 6 is also a radioactive element. Now in this, what do we notice? Well, we have number of protons here 92. Here we have number of protons as 88. So both are greater than 83. So we can understand that these have unstable nuclei and they are radioactive. But what about carbon-14? It has only 6 protons. Still, it exhibits radioactivity. Why is it so? Let's understand. Now, these are the isotopes of carbon. Now, this is the most common form of carbon which we encounter, carbon-12. Now, it has 6 protons and 6 neutrons. So, definitely it has a stable nucleus. Now, another isotope of carbon is carbon-13. Again, in this case, we have 6 protons and 7 neutrons. So, in this case, what is happening? Well, the number of protons is somewhat less, that is just 1 less than number of neutrons. So, again, this is stable. But as we come to carbon-14, then what is happening? Again, we have 6 protons but 8 neutrons. Now, because the number is very small, so even the difference between 8 and 6 is pretty large in this case. So, we can say that in this case, protons is much lesser than neutrons, and as a result we have an unstable nucleus. And when we have an unstable nucleus, it will exhibit radioactivity. So carbon 14 is an isotope of carbon and it is radioactive. So we can say that carbon 14 is a radioisotope of carbon. So what are radioisotopes? Some isotopes of stable elements have an unstable combination of neutrons and protons, making them radioactive. Such isotopes are called radioisotopes. In this case, carbon 14 is a radioisotope of carbon. So carbon usually comes in the form of carbon 12, which is stable, but carbon 14 is a radioisotope of carbon, which is radioactive. So the question arises, why do some nuclei decay? Well, we know that radioactive elements and isotopes have unstable nuclei, and such nuclei emit radiation in the form of energy and particles to become more stable. So to attain stability, they emit energy and particles, and this phenomenon is called radioactive decay. So let's understand once again the conditions inside a nucleus. Now here we have neutrons and protons which are bound together by strong nuclear force, and this is the condition in the case of a stable nucleus. But in the case of unstable nucleus, or in the case of radioisotopes, the combination of protons and neutrons is not a stable one, and so we have an unstable nucleus which results in nuclear radiation, and that's why we have certain radioactive elements, because they emit nuclear radiation. Now let's come back to the radium stickers which we were talking about. So what is so special about radium? Well, radium is a radioactive element, so it emits radiation, but the radioactive radiation is not visible to our eyes. So why does it glow? Well, the glow is because the radiation which is coming out of radium, that excites the air particles around it, and it is the glow of the air particles that is seen by our eyes. So what we see as the glow of the radium is not exactly the radioactive radiation of radium. In fact, it is the glowing air particles which are excited due to the radiation of the radium particles. So radium is a radioactive element, and radium is called radioactive because it has an unstable nucleus resulting in radiation. So any element which has an unstable nucleus resulting in radioactive radiation is called a radioactive element. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. You can also register for free at deltastep.com to get all learning resources as per ICSE, CBSE, IB, Cambridge or any other curriculum. Over 5,000 amazing lectures across maths, science, English and social science. Our unique interactive video technology keeps you engaged, and our iDictionary feature allows you to quickly revise any concept. Master each topic at your own pace with our adaptive practice technology and 1 million plus questions. Get instant answers and detailed solutions. Be exam ready by taking unlimited mock tests, performance analysis along with actionable feedback, personal tutors to resolve your slightest of doubts. That's not all. You also get amazing prizes like PlayStations, iPads, watches and many more, along with certificates through our Earn As You Learn program. So at deltastep.com, learning is not just fun and easy, it's rewarding too. So register for free now.